I don't know about you, Dub, but I used to love to play the NCAA football game from EA Sports. Build up your own franchise. You could take any team, get them working towards a championship, and it could become so much fun. College-age kids, high school-age kids, guys out there starting off their life in their 20s trying to burn some steam. It was tough to beat this. Yesterday, to almost universal acclaim, Electronic Arts, which makes the Madden video game, and many others, came out and said, hey, we are working towards returning this game. May take a little while. This is a no-brainer. I've floated it for a while. We've talked about it on this show. If you are a college football player, the idea that you could get your name on the video game and your likeness is far more valuable than the money, right? Like, this was always crazy to me. If you're an 18-year-old kid out there and you are on any high-level college football team and they had your name on the roster and you could play with yourself as a video game character in any way, that is infinitely more valuable than whatever money you might get. Now, I'm not saying these guys couldn't get $1,000 or $2,000 the stipend. Heck, I bet most of them would rather just have a $2,000 card where they could go out. If they're anything like my kids, they loved, I don't know if you still play Madden aggressively, but my kids love opening the packs on Madden and building their own high-level team. I think EA could just give them free dollars to spend on all the different EA games. And most of them would probably be like, heck, I'd rather have a couple of grand just to spend on all the video games and be able to have incredible teams almost than they would get cash, right? I mean, the value of being in one of these games, for everybody out there who could play it, this is just a win for everybody. The fact this game ever went away is, I think, a big swing and a miss for college athletics.
Well, this game was basically like my childhood. I guess I was probably a lot like your kids when I was their age. I would play this game obsessively.
Yep.
And they took it away while I was in college, and I was still, I would still like to play it. I still do play it, the last version of it on my own.
Download like the updated rosters? Because my kids have even gotten into that because they're college football fans now.
Yeah, I haven't done that, but I have my Dynasty still from way back in the day on the 360. And you're so right about, I feel like I knew so much more about college football rosters.
Oh, no doubt.
When I played this game, when I was, a teenager or whatever.
My kids, Madden is one of the best advertisements for the NFL that exists. And I know there's people out there who say Madden's not as great as it used to be. There's not competition for the NFL rights. But the amount that my kids know about NFL, both now and historically, because they have so many of the legends that you can add to teams over the years in Madden, it is the best advertisement out there. Much like, so my boys, and I know everybody's kids play different games, but I imagine a lot of yours, if they're around my age, my boys will play Madden, Minecraft, and Fortnite. So I just had a kid turn 13, which is his own craziness. I've got a teenager now. I've got a 13-year-old, I've got a 10-year-old, and I've got a 6-year-old, 3 boys. And they will play those 3 games all the time. But we used to play a lot of wrestling as well. And wrestling was great for the same reason, the WWE, because of all the classic wrestlers. They learned so much about the history of wrestling just by playing the game, and I feel like they do it here too. And to me, college football has undercut its ability to appeal to a new generation of fans by not allowing them to play this game.
I totally agree, and that's something where I think the growth of the sport of soccer in America has...
Amen. It's a great argument because of FIFA.
Absolutely,
that's right.
Because I wasn't a huge soccer fan growing up, but I loved the video game, and that kind of parlayed itself into me enjoying watching soccer on a weekly basis.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's monstrously important for younger generations to be able to play the video game. Even back in the day, for people who are around my age, the Mike Tyson video game made Mike Tyson so much more of a legendary character than he ever would have been if Mike Tyson's Punch-Out didn't exist. I right now, as I'm doing this show, was such a huge fan of Tecmo Bowl and Super Tecmo Bowl. I have got a touchdown, like Spike Football video game arcade from Tecmo Bowl that is signed and autographed by Bo Jackson, because I think he was one of the greatest video game athletes of all time, potentially the greatest video game athlete of all time. But that helped to make me the NFL fan that I became, was being able to play that game. So I hope this gets worked out. EA Sports, a lot of work to be able to put it together and get it done. But one of the casualties of this name, image, likeness era has been that video game. And I think it's one that everybody would agree doesn't make sense going forward.